talking about the need for, in the wake of the recent massive and historic tax increases that Governor O'Malley and legislative leadership have subjected the people of Maryland to, that activists, Republicans, Democrats, conservatives, and moderates alike need to stay mad about the recent tax increase. And thankfully it looks like our fellow Marylanders are doing just that. With a lot of the scientific data that's come out in the recent opinion polls, it looks like the people of Maryland are fed up. They don't like the fact that the governor and the General Assembly raised their taxes. And they raised their taxes without good reason. Instead of being responsible fiscal stewards and trying to save money instead of raising more revenue, they decided that the working and middle classes of Maryland had too much money and they needed to appropriate that money for government use. And you know what? You look at what we saw in the Baltimore Sun this morning, and you will see that the people of Maryland aren't buying that story anymore.
After the special session, O'Malley's approval rating has dipped to 35%, with 45% of Marylanders disapproving of his job. A full 51% of Marylanders believe that the taxes passed by the General Assembly are unfair. Additionally, 52% of Marylanders believe that Maryland's economy is getting worse, not better, after the hijinks of the special session. Additionally, 54% of Marylanders disapprove of the legislation that was passed by this General Assembly special session, with only 32% of Marylanders approving of the massive tax hikes passed by the legislature.
Now these developments are good. It's good to see that Maryland's taxpayers understand that they've been hosed, that they've been that they've been swindled by the governor and also by legislative leadership. And it's a good sign for Republicans and conservatives everywhere. It means that people understand that pocketbook issues are very important, that the Democrats are not on the side of the people, that they're not on the side of the working man, they're not on the side of middle-class families when it comes to pocketbook issues and taxes and things like that they understand that the Democrats are the people who want to take more of their money. It's something that will hopefully give them pause at the ballot box, maybe not necessarily maybe not as importantly this fall, but very importantly in the 2010 general elections when we elect a new governor and elect a new General Assembly. People will remember that and remember, hey, the Democrats are the ones that swindled us. We need to do something. But it's not without a risk. And our Red Maryland colleague and friend G.A. Harrison pointed out that just because the governor's poll numbers are where they are, it doesn't necessarily mean that things are all milk and honey for the Republican cause.
Harrison compares O'Malley's plight to Bill Clinton in 1994. Quote, his party lost control of Congress for the first time in 50 years, yet Clinton skated to victory and re-election in 1996. With Maryland's system of holding statewide and legislative elections once every 4 years, O'Malley cannot be dismissed this early in the game.
Now, of course, he's right to a certain extent, because 3 years is a long time. There's a long time between now and November of 2010. And there's a lot of things that need to happen between now and then. The Republicans need to have a credible candidate for governor. Hopefully one that's not John Leopold, by the way. Somebody who is strong on the issue of taxes. Somebody who will stand up for the middle class and the working class of Maryland and say government has enough of your money. And that Republican candidate should, like Ellen Sauerbrey did in the 1994 election, promise whole-scale tax cuts. A 24% reduction in the income tax will be a good start. But that maybe people will realize that it's Republicans who are on our side. The Democrats, all they want to do is take our money and spend it on programs that I don't want, as a taxpayer, and that other taxpayers and other middle class and working families don't want. That these families understand that they are can better spend their money than the Democrats can. Certainly legislative leadership or government of any kind can't spend their money as well as a working family can spend it on their kids or on boosting the economy. But more importantly, people are seeing now that Democrats are bad for Maryland and that they're bad for Maryland's economy. They realize that the tax increases and tax policy the Democrats have don't mean very good things for jobs. They don't mean good things for small businesses. One thing I think that's going to be important in boosting the Republicans' ability to take back the governor's mansion in 2010, the ability to defeat Governor O'Malley in the 2010 general election, goes back to the 2006 general election. I want you to take a look at this footage, this campaign spot from the governor's election campaign in 2006.
How did this happen? A 72% increase in utility rates, costing consumers and seniors, while energy companies make record profits. The special interests already have their governor. We need one of our own. Martin O'Malley, taking on BG&E to stop the rate hikes, a detailed plan to make energy more affordable. O'Malley will stand up to lobbyists and powerful corporate interests, strengthen middle-class families, and make Maryland strong again. Martin O'Malley, Governor.
You will notice in that spot the governor said that he's going to do things in a positive way that positively impact Maryland's working families. Well, obviously, given the tax increases and the nature of governance that Governor O'Malley has subjected the people of Maryland to, Martin O'Malley's not interested in Maryland's working families. He's not interested in middle-class families. He's interested in raising your taxes and being in the pocket of lobbyists and special interests. You just saw it right there with the governor promising to stop the BGE utility rates. These hikes, a 72% hike in utility rates, which of course the Governor's Public Service Commission gleefully signed off on. The governor just, told the people of Maryland one thing and did another, which he's very good at, by the way. He's very good at looking the people of Maryland in the face and, pulling a fast one on them. And that's very unfortunate because, as you saw in his commercial, he was going to stand up for the working family. He was going to stand up for the middle class. He was going to stand up to special interests, which anybody who paid attention to his ability to govern the city of Baltimore knew he was full of it. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize that Martin O'Malley's all hat, no cattle. That he will. Getting back to the tax issue, however, it's very important that the people of Maryland do what I had suggested before. And you'll see from this clip from January 1st, and I think people are really starting to take heed to a lot of the things that I said in this here clip. That the people of Maryland are paying attention to what their legislators are doing, and that the people of Maryland are not going to take the Democrats' screwing of the middle and working classes anymore. So I encourage you, as one of your New Year's resolutions, to stay active, get involved, keep paying attention to what's going on, and stay angry for what the Democrats did to you last November. That's the bottom line right there, folks. People need to stay angry about the tax increases. People need to realize that Democrats are pulling a fast one on them. That the Democratic Party in Maryland has no beef about knifing Maryland's middle and working families in the back. That Maryland Democrats are more concerned with raising your taxes and lining the pockets of their special interest friends than doing anything positive for the people of Maryland. That's the thing that people need to remember. That's what needs to keep us motivated for the next 2.5 years. G.A. Harrison's right. We have a long way to go between now and the 2010 election. But it's our job as activists, our job as bloggers, to keep in mind, in the front of everybody's mind, what these Democrats have done, and what these Democrats will likely continue to do as we go forward from here. We've already seen proposed tax hikes come down the pike in Annapolis since the regular session of the General Assembly started on Wednesday. And I'm sure we're going to see many more proposed tax hikes between now and the end of session in April. And we will see more tax hikes certainly next year as well. It's only going to be in 2010 when Governor O'Malley and the Democratic legislature are going to try to provide tax relief to the people of Maryland, which will mean small cuts in the taxes that they just rammed through the special session back in November. Don't let the people of Maryland be fooled. Let's work together to make sure that the people of Maryland remember what the Democrats did, remember what the governor did, and remember what the General Assembly did. And to remind these folks that Martin O'Malley and the General Assembly's legislative leadership, these Democrats in Annapolis, they don't care about the people of Maryland. They only care about elections, winning them, and making sure they can reward their special interest friends. That's what Democrats in Maryland are all about. And we need to keep the voters conscious of that fact from here through the general election in 2010.